What's up guys, Triple C here. I want to dedicate today's video about the new physics that were introduced with CUNNING stunts. After 3 years in the game, they actually completely changed the physics. In this CUNNING stunt mode, new physics apply. And they've also broken some of our old races where also new physics apply, which are basically unplayable right now. But a disclaimer, I'm just talking about the physics. I'm not talking about the props or the game mode in general as a whole, just about the new physics. Now, one thing that you can see here, once I go into this big jump, I automatically just put my nose down immediately to reduce my air time. That's what stunt races would do, reduce your air time, put your nose down. This doesn't matter anymore now. I could have just as well put my nose up and I would have had exactly the same effect. You cannot really control your car midair. You can do barrel rolls or flat spins, but you cannot glide towards a checkpoint or reduce your air time to get on the track quicker, to be quicker off again. They completely removed that feature. Now, another thing, probably a lot of you guys have also noticed already, that cars seem to be magnetically attracted to surfaces. So after a jump, even if you're not landing straight, if your car is at a 45-degree angle, it will always connect to the road perfectly, which is really strange and which brings some issues with itself. As you will see, I've got some footage after this where I show some of our old races which they broke, where also new physics apply now. It's basically the game is trying to figure out what's supposed to happen and is trying to make it easier for the player to connect to surfaces. And now if you got just a jump, like in this race for example, when I just jump from platform to platform, it's no problem. It might even be a big help that the car just so connects. But once you start to build precision stunts with ascending pieces and whatever, then the game will always misinterpret what's supposed to happen, and you'll see that in the footage what I'm about to show after this, where I have some direct comparisons of races that were that I recorded before CUNNING stunts and races that I recorded after CUNNING stunts where new game physics apply. Now another thing, wall rides. Like basically everything with the new physics is designed in a way to make it easier. Now you can argue if that's a good or a bad thing. For the general public that plays the game, it's probably a good thing because it's just easier to do. For like really hardcore fans like us and diehard creators, it's definitely a bad thing because it completely removed the challenge. And once you remove the challenge, it will start to get uninteresting quick because that was just a big part of it, you know, just like figuring out how stuff works, still improving after all this time, still always pushing it and trying to get better and better. Now basically a lot of this stuff doesn't apply anymore because it just becomes so easy, everything. With wall rides, for example, your car is magnetically attracted to a wall ride. The way you have to steer on wall rides completely changed with the new physics. Also there, as you saw, I tilted my car sideways. It connected perfectly to the road. With wall rides, it doesn't really matter what car you have anymore, apparently. There's small differences, but they're not as big as they used to be. And you have to steer a lot, but you will never really oversteer. That sensitive steering is gone, where you can just go over the wall quickly. So it's a bit getting used to, but once you've done 2 or 3 races with the new physics and you're used to it and you know how the new steering works on wall rides, it's become incredibly easy. I've got one wall ride, for example, which is like one of my hardest wall rides I ever built, and I played that with a friend. He's played it so often, he's never made that one. And that race Rockstar also broke with the new physics, and he played that one and he made it second try, and like he probably spent over an hour in that race before he never got that wall ride. With the new physics, no problem at all. So that's ultimately really a pity that the challenge was removed. And I mean, the only effect this can have midterm, long term, of course now everything is new and exciting, but midterm, long term, if you remove the challenge, it will be uninteresting very quick, as I just said. So that's really a pity, and like that's my concern, the longevity this game had before. I'm very concerned that the new physics don't have the potential for that longevity because everything has just become so incredibly easy. And I really wish that they wouldn't have changed the physics, but just given us these props. And I mean, you could have gone through the tubes and everything with the old physics. It wouldn't have been a problem. Like one also very distinct thing is this new spiraling thing, which you guys have probably also seen if you fall off from something, how your car just spirals out. And that actually also happens on races where you have like flips, like wall ride flips, where you flip from wall ride to wall ride. Now it doesn't matter anymore how you build the flip container. The game recognizes, okay, a flip is supposed to happen. It puts the car in a perfect spiraling flip. It looks like a spiral, as if it was drawn with a pen, basically. And it will try to connect the car on the next surface. And that's what I'm going to show you in the next footage here. How our old races, the game completely misinterprets what's supposed to happen. And like also building these flips now and stuff, also no real skill will be required anymore, because you just have to place a flip container somehow. The game will recognize, okay, a flip is supposed to happen. It will put the car in the flip, in the spin, and then just try to connect it perfectly with the landing surface, which will basically only work if the landing surface is also horizontal or straight. Otherwise, the game just misinterprets it. So yeah, without further ado, I'll just quickly show you that comparison footage. Figure out for yourself if you like it or not. Like I said, my big concern is it will make the game uninteresting because the challenge has been taken out. Oh yeah, one more thing, because people were also talking about this, how this happens with the new physics, because it just applies to some of our old races and to some it doesn't. And first, we were speculating that it might be if you put races in a playlist with the new Cunning stunt races in them. That's apparently not the case, because I've tested this and I've had 3 friends help me. We did a lot of testing on this. The best we could come up with now, how this happens with the new physics, it seems to affect only races that were built in a certain time frame between Finance and Felony and the release of Cunning Stunts. Not all of them, but only races that were released in a 1 or 2 week span, or probably a 2 week span between Finance and Felony and Cunning Stunts. So, but it's still inconsistent. Some of them have it, some of them don't. It just seems to be a bit random sometimes. So maybe if you guys have any races that were released or republished in a different time frame before Finance and Felony, where also new physics apply, please tell me in the comments, because we're trying to figure out which races this affects and how it happens. We try to reproduce it with republishing, publishing new jobs and everything. The only thing we can get it down to, we can pinpoint it down to, that it must be a certain time frame between Finance and Felony and Cunning Stunts, where they probably already induced code with the Finance and Felony for the Cunning Stunts, and some sort of mess up on their servers must have happened, that those races of ours were classified as stunt races. But yeah, here we go. Here's the comparison footage. First I will show the old game physics, and the next ones with the new game physics, how the stunts look that way. Just check it out, guys.